Hello, everybody. How are you doing on this fine Sunday evening? Got thrown off there for a second, but that's normal. That's what happens here on Football Miami TV almost every week. Lots of things to talk about. A lot of Messi, I guess, to talk about. But as always, I'm not going to do that by myself. Everybody say hi to everybody's favorite uncle, Uncle Ed. Ed, how you doing?
Peter Brown. How you doing, Peter Brown?
Hang on, maybe I should do the same.
All right, there you go.
The problem is
The logo.
Julio nailed it. I look like Gilligan when I wear this.
You sure do. You got that white boy Gilligan looking thing going.
Where's the
There
public
you go.
symbol or whatever? Yeah, I can't pull this off. Screw that. Well, this was given away to us at the for free at the Publix premiere party. So that was kind of a fun thing we did this weekend. But and this shirt
fun.
came from the Publix premiere party as well. So we got some nice free stuff from
Good
Publix.
eating. We got some good
free
eating.
food, free Red Bull mixed drinks. So little vodka and Red Bull, a little bit of beer. They didn't run out of beer this time. That was nice.
Peter looked pretty toasty when we got up to our seat, so that was kind of cool.
No, but all right. So we'll have a lot of fun things to talk about. Obviously, a lot of messy things to talk about. And anything else you guys want to talk about as well in the chat. So get active in the chat, and we'll have you guys help drive the show. But before we go too far, let's say a big thank you to our sponsor, and that is Caneswear. Caneswear is located in Davie, Florida, on University Drive, just south of 595. Always having good sales, and they have the messiest wall in all of South Florida. Get your all your Messi gear and get it for a good price. Support a local business. Support those that support us. And if Davie's too far, go to caneswear.com. All orders over $99 ship for free, and drop in FMTV 10 to save 10%.
Yeah.
And we might have people kind of straggling in a little bit later today because the FIFA Club World Cup just kind of ended a little while ago. So,
and I gotta say, Peter, that halftime show was a lot better than the halftime show that Inter Miami had.
Yeah, I missed that halftime show at Inter Miami had because I was.
You were lucky to get rid of not see that one. It was a train wreck, man. First of all, the sound system was like really off, man. It was like you could barely even understand the announcer. It was like wrong, like Charlie Brown's teacher, man.
I don't know. I think it's like that all the time, though. No.
Yeah, but this time especially bad.
Well, maybe because of the rapper. Maybe because of the rapper.
The rappers were, man, they were bad, dude. They were like, I mean, and for the kids out there, I'm not talking about good bad. It was bad is what it was.
So you're saying, the rap, because I didn't hear any of it. I mean, when I was downstairs in the bathroom area and stuff like that, I was pretty quick because the lines weren't crazy. And I heard zero. So it must have been short for one thing. And the other is you're saying it's bad not because it's rap. You're just saying it was bad rap.
It was bad rap and just bad sound, and just wasn't very well organized. I think they should have had it. It was just bad, man. It was terrible, terrible. Hopefully they won't do that again, or if they do it again, I mean, fix up the sound system or something.
Right.
It's funny because Esteban Dito, I put something up on Twitter. And Esteban Dito was like, they're not going to fix that because they're almost out of that stadium. So
yeah, it's true. That's true. They're not going to fix it. I mean, maybe it sounds better in the other stadium, but I never thought it sounded bad. But sometimes you get a little reverb action going on, but a
lot.
Yeah, and I don't know. I don't remember if it was you or Julio, but somebody was saying, yeah, that could be adjusted. You could fix that. But one of you guys told me that, and I was like, well, I don't know. What do I know? But there's other problems at that stadium. They just don't keep that stadium clean. It is always dirty. But I use my pressure washer so much that I walk around that stadium just going, man, somebody needs to somebody's job at that stadium should be pressure washing. Like every weekend, even I'm not saying every spot needs to be pressure washed every weekend, but it's a big piece of property, so it's like you move over to sections, quadrants, but it's just not well taken care of that stadium.
Just keep going around in circles, Peter.
Yeah,
Just
by the end of the season, you've done the whole stadium. I don't know, but
no, but I'm just
anyways,
saying it'll get dirty on one side by the time he
it can
turns
come
around
around. Exactly,
because of
exactly.
the humidity, man. This place is just like really humid and
They
stuff.
never
So
touch up paint anywhere or anything. They're just not taking care. Hopefully, they take better care of Miami Freedom Park. Anyways, if you
for
guys want
sure.
to leave us a voicemail, I saw a voicemail just came in while we were talking 786 474 4435. You can leave a voicemail as well. So let's say hi to those of you that are in the chat. We gave it a little time so you guys can get in. Julio Enriquez is here, and we saw him last night, so that's good. Damian Guzman. Sorry, I'm late. I was watching MLB for the Marlins. Nope, you're right on time. Nick Smith is here. Aloha. Mr. Krabs is here. Kevin Gonzalez, great win. Great game yesterday with this. He had a blast, and I think he's the one. Yeah, he's the one that called in. So we'll get to Kevin's voicemail in a little bit. Score Florida is here asking about Rodrigo De Paul. We'll get to that a little bit later. And then, of course, as always, one more one goals here. So if anybody else wants to jump in and start chatting, please do so. But Ed, so we played against Nashville. Nashville, one of the better teams in the league this year. They really have kind of turned it around since last year they kind of were in a slump, and so this was definitely not an easy game, but yet when you have Messi on your team, sometimes it looks easy.
Yeah, he basically did everything by himself, and I don't know if you noticed, Peter, but they depend on him too much. My opinion, they always look for him. They're not passing to other players. It's just it's concentrated on Messi, and I think that's a bad thing because one of the things you've got down there that keeps going through it says we need other people to score, and I totally agree with you on that, Peter, because something happens to Messi, they're so dependent on him that they're gonna not know what to do.
Exactly. But the one thing Messi did do is he ended Nashville's 15 game win streak. So who even knew that Nashville had that many wins in a row? I didn't know.
Yeah.
But they put an end to that, which was nice. They've got they've had some injuries this year as well. Um, that was good. But yeah, while we're watching the game, I didn't think it was actually that great of a game. It was some good Messi magic, and it was magic. I mean, that was an amazing free kick goal. That he, a lot of times he'll go up a little bit higher, try to curve it around the wall or whatever. This time he went low. It was beautiful. And I think I was just saying to somebody that just before it happened, that haven't seen him do this in an MLS game in a while, like in our home stadium. Haven't seen him do one of those in the home. It feels like it, at least. I know he did it in the Club World Cup and all that kind of stuff, but it didn't feel like he had, done it for us in a while. So
Yeah,
that was a really good
and,
thing
and
to
it
see.
and it got to the point where you think that he can't do free kicks anymore because he's missed so many, or he
Yeah.
missed so many. But no, he's on record to break. I think the most ever free kick goals is Junino Pernambucano,
Hmm.
who um, who did 77. I think Pele is in second with 70 something
Yeah,
also.
it's something like that. I did see that stat. Oh yeah, Mr. Krabs chiming in saying, "I'm a little tired of this teaming way too messy dependent. Of this team being way too messy dependent." Agreed. But it's hard to when you have the best player in the world. It's hard not to be right. It sometimes they're passing the ball when he shouldn't get the ball. But it's not only that. It's yeah, they are very very messy dependent, passing the ball when they shouldn't. But there are players Suarez, that may be getting opportunities and just can't put them away this year. It's a huge. We've talked about it many times here. Uh-oh, my camera just went wacky. We've talked about it many
Yeah.
times here um, on
Looking
the
good there, bro.
show. This happened a couple weeks ago, like a month two ago, but I don't know why. Why there it goes. It just fixed itself.
Some type of tomfoolery going on, and I predict that's going to happen a couple of times today.
Well, if it happens once, it usually happens more than once. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's the wireless connection of stuff. But yeah, so other players need to step up at different times, like Allende has stepped up at times, but not consistently. It's like Messi is also what he broke his own record of now scoring what multiple goals in 5 games in a row.
Yeah.
That's great, but other people have to do that. I mean, if he has a bad night,
Somebody needs to step up.
somebody needs to step up. So some more conversation in the chat about that. Julio Enriquez says, "Great game because we won, but the defense is still a colander." By the way, Aviles has to go. Um, I don't think
Agreed.
he's going anywhere. We'll talk about it a little bit later,
Oh,
but I have
ouch.
another spreadsheet for you guys. I prepared another spreadsheet for us to go through later in the show, and I don't think he's going anywhere. Not this year. Um, Probably not next year, unless I could sell him. But and I don't think the defense was that bad this game. But who had a really good game was Falcone.
Yeah, he was really solid. He's starting to gain confidence. I think he's just doing things well. I think him and Martinez look well together.
And we got to say goodbye to Martinez in just a couple weeks. His contract expires July 31st. The loan. Um, I would, especially with all the injuries that we have, and now he was one of those injuries. I mean, he's been injured quite a bit, but he's not right now. And I've seen some people online saying he sucks or whatever. I don't agree. I think they should find a way to extend that contract to the end of the year.
Yeah,
I
I
don't want.
agree.
I'm not saying you need to buy him, right? I don't know if he's that great, but with all the injuries that we have, he's pretty good. I'm not saying he's the best defender in the world. We probably could still upgrade, but he's pretty good. Um,
Yeah.
going back to that Messi dependent thing. Oh yeah, Mr. Krabs has a question, which is a good question. Does the team train without Messi, like a practice scrimmage? If Messi isn't playing, who's the next man up? Now, I mean, we have seen the team last year, go on a run playing well with Messi was injured, so they have done it. But yeah, that'd be a funny thing is do they actually let him go sit and drink some Moss Plus while the team plays and see how they do? I don't know. Caesar, our old friend Caesar's popping in, says Fafa needs to start more often. Play Suarez for 45, then bench him. I've been screaming, I need more Fafa. I've defended Fafa because people in our chats that don't know the league there it goes again, saying that Fafa sucks and all that kind of stuff. I don't agree. Fafa, when he comes in, he makes a difference. I'm not saying he's
Yeah,
always scoring, but he makes a difference when he comes in. The limited minutes that he's had, he has made a difference.
I totally agree. He definitely gives a little spark to the attack. He runs a lot. He's still fast, and definitely can run better than Suarez. So I also agree he needs some more minutes.
Let
And Suarez, yeah, he's while he still does great passes, he's one of our leading
an assist.
assisters.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, he looks like he definitely can't or hasn't been able to score lately, so that's kind of concerning. That one in the beginning of the game where he had the all he had to do was just aim towards one of the corners, he would have made it, and he just threw it out. I was surprised because when Suarez has the ball or Messi has the ball, I'm like, oh, it's gonna be a goal. But
Used to,
now
yeah.
I'm thinking Messi could score.
Yeah. Brad is mentioning that Allende needs to work on his first touch. Even Kromoski has a better touch than him at this point. Allende is up and down. Yeah, his first touch isn't always the best, but I mean, he's scored some nice goals though. You know, in his time with this team, he has
He,
scored
he,
some nice goals. Um,
he,
Tony, on the other hand, saying Kromoski can't shoot. So you got everybody. You know, it's funny is that you know, after a game, any game, right? No matter what game I'm watching, I may scour Twitter and stuff like that, just see what people are thinking. And it's always you'll have one person see the game one way and someone else see it completely the opposite. We all see it differently. Like one person will come up and say Kromoski had the best game of his entire career, and then somebody else will say, "Oh, he sucks. He's got to go." Right? It's just the way it goes.
well, the thing that concerned me about sometimes Banghan would hold on to the ball too long,
Yeah.
and somebody would tell him pass the ball or do this, and he would do it, and I'm like, dude, he waited too much with the ball. And that's the thing that concerns me about him. He needs to already start reading the play, or it was the first time he started in a long time, also. So maybe that's got something to do, or he's still nervous or something. But yeah, it's concerning to me.
Speaking of Suarez, oh yeah, Mr. Krabs also adds, why do we even have a Bondo if we aren't playing him? We've been asking that question for weeks. If you're not going to play him, why have him? I know he's been hurt at times, but even when he's healthy, he doesn't play. So I don't know. I don't know. I
He
don't
did
get it.
score a goal. He's played very little. He did score one goal, so I guess that's okay. But yeah, he needs to be playing more.
Going through some more chats. I don't know what some of this stuff means. What does suplente mean? Suarez
Oh, that's a
suplente.
sub. It's a sub. He should be a sub.
Oh, sub. All right. Yeah, yeah, make him a super sub.
I think that might be it. Let him come in towards the end, or trade him off with Fafa because Fafa can still play up on top. Till we get another forward, we need another forward, man. We need another Campana type forward that can come in and make a difference and
And
can
but you
run
know,
and defend.
yeah, yeah, and we sort of do have. I mean, Fafa can play forward and Eric, I mean, or wing, and Eric Thomas jumping in saying, "All you need to know is if Fafa makes a mistake, equals we banish him. If Suarez plays like trash for an extended period of time, oh, let's play him for 90 minutes a game in game out, to the detriment of this team." So yeah, I mean, oh yeah, Mr. Krabs asking about my camera. Why does it keep doing that? I don't know. It's happened before. So my camera is wireless and it just keeps losing wireless to the application that I'm using, and it just keeps losing connection today. It's happened like once or twice before, but it doesn't happen very often, which is good. But and the only way to probably really fix it would be to quit this entire program, restart it, and we would lose the stream. So we'll just get through it.
We'll have to deal with it.
You guys know what I look like. It's okay. It's no big
Yeah.
deal. So, um, what else do we have in here? One World, One Goal saying, agree 100%. We miss Gomez, so we will miss Martinez in the same way. Just when they click, we lose them. Well, Gomez was better than Martinez, but I get your point.
But Gomez was also a midfielder, so
Yeah, but I get her point of we you miss them when they're gone, type of thing.
yeah, but yeah, we don't have many defenders, and defenders is what we really need because there's that rumor Peter Brown about DePaul
Yeah, so let's
coming
get
to
into that.
Miami. But he's a midfielder. Do we really need another midfielder?
So if he's playing, we talked about this a little bit. It's kind of Busquets and him kind of play the same position. Although, I mean, you've got two defensive midfielders now, so I mean, they could do the same. You could still play two defensive midfielders. You could still play him and Busquets on the field, I guess, because they do it now. Kromoski was playing that defensive mid, doing the running for Busquets, or usually it's Bright, which seems to be getting healthier, and
Yeah,
we
need
prefer when he's in that position. But it sounds like all accounts are sounding like the Rodrigo De Paul thing is happening, and I love it for a bunch of several reasons. One, I'm always crying here that I'm sick and tired of bringing in these over the hill, overage players. Now, sometimes they do play well because Suarez was one of those players and he had a good season, one good season. And so, but this guy's only 31. He's still in his prime. I love that. I love that you're bringing in somebody that's still within his prime, maybe the tail end of his prime, but still within his prime. And he could still be playing in Europe. Should probably still be playing in Europe, right? In reality.
He's coming for one reason only, Peter Brown, and that's to be with his buddy Messi.
That's it. That's it. And then the other thing I love about it is that it's going to piss off the rest of the league. I love the fact that everybody's going to cry that we're cheating. I love that. I love now. Let's hopefully we're not cheating, but you know, I love the fact that it's going to piss everybody off when people say, "How can they do this?" They don't have any designated players. Now, I've said previously that we did have one because of the restructuring of Jordi Alba's contract. I was wrong because that didn't affect this season. It would affect next season potentially, but not this season. So we don't have a DP. So how do you get it done without a DP? And that's where. But the funny thing is, even like the MLS like insiders, like what's his name, the one we all know,
Bogert.
Right, Booger. There's a fake Twitter account that has Booger instead of Bogart, which is it almost got me too.
You actually, it got you because you clicked on the follow thing.
I clicked follow and then I realized it and I unfollowed just as quickly as I clicked follow. So yeah, it did get me. But even he's like, I don't see how this can happen. And all you have to do is look at what LA Galaxy did with Zlatan. And with Zlatan, they signed him to, a 6-month TAM deal because he came in the summer. So you get like a 6-month TAM deal and then a DP deal for the next couple seasons or whatever. So that's all they have to do is just get him in under the TAM and then restructure the deal for a designated player next year. I mean, that's doable, so not a problem. Hey, by the way, we got a super chat. You guys want to donate to the channel? That's one way to do it. Caesar jumped in and says, "Hola Italia, Ed looks like you lost some weight. How's the attendance at Disney? DePaul will be welcomed. Energy and fight we need at midfield." All right, that's all over the place, Caesar. But I mean, you given a super chat, will guarantee that we'll put it up there. So,
and we're gonna answer your question. I lose like 5 pounds.
Oh, so congratulations, yes, Ed.
Yeah, I'm doing what Peter does, not eating.
Yeah, when I lost all that weight, people are like, "Well, how'd you do it?" I'm like, "Well, I'm hungry all the time." That's how I did it. I'm always hungry. And then he asked, "How's the attendance at Disney?" I don't know, Caesar. It's been way too long since I've been to Disney. I don't have a good grasp on Disney anymore because it's been like 2 months since I've been there, and it's a long 2 months for me. I mean, I know you guys can feel for it. And then he also said, DePaul will be welcome to energy and fight we need in the midfield. So now I heard some people on Twitter commenting on this a little bit, and I agree. And I think I said this a little bit in the past as well, is that we always have problems with our defense. And it doesn't matter who the players are. It doesn't matter who the coach is. We always have problems with our defense. Sometimes I think it's not so much the defense as much as it is the midfield that's allowing the gaps and everything that's putting the defense under undue pressure. So you bring in somebody like DePaul, that could definitely help for sure, right?
But how would they? I mean, what would you do, Peter? I mean, bring him in as a TAM, but his contract's not up till the end of the year.
Oh,
so Inter Miami would have to pay a crazy amount, probably like, I don't know, 15 million. Let's just to put a number out there to get him out of his contract.
I don't know. There's creative ways. I mean, you can. I don't see. Here's the thing. I don't know what's legal and what's not. But could you could you say to his current team, what, Atletico Madrid? I said it right, right? I always get them mixed up.
Got it.
Uh, you could just say, let's borrow him for a little while, and we'll pay you tomorrow. We'll pay your asking price.
But let me get what was it? That hamburger guy in the
Yeah, that's
Popeye.
exactly where I was thinking. I just couldn't remember the
I'll
exact
gladly pay
quote that
you
he
on.
said.
I'd gladly pay you. What was it? On Wednesday for a hamburger today, like that.
Wimpy from Popeye. Popeye.
That's him. But yeah, that could work.
I mean, look, they're all, if they sign some now, again, I don't know if that's legal. I don't know if you're allowed to do that. But you know, it's not like you can make it in a contract, right? As the payment is due on this day, right? And there would potentially be maybe a convenience tax on there. Like, so let's say, wasn't the rumor somewhere around they wanted like 17 million or something to get him out of contract early or something like that? Some large sum of money.
Something like that. That's why I said like 15, just to throw
Okay, so we're
something out
close,
there.
right? So let's say you're right. Let's say it's 15. And then you say, all right, for the convenience tax, we'll give you 17. I mean, they must, if that's the
There
case,
you
you
go.
really want him bad. But
Right.
yeah, I don't know.
But I think that would probably one of the reasons why he's coming is to make sure that Leo Messi is staying.
Yeah, exactly.
So I think he's insurance. Yeah.
Right. Pablo checking in says that let everyone hate. If fans, owners, executives really want to see MLS reach the next level, more clubs need to follow the current Inter Miami's blueprint and take risks. Exactly. As long as we're following the rules, which I think we are these days, because we got busted and we cheated, and that's all legit. And we all, it's well documented. We know. So I think they're definitely doing things by the book. Now,
We said we're sorry, Peter. We said we're sorry.
could the league bend the rules a little bit for us in favor? Because they want, I mean, I think anything's possible. So when you're talking that much money involved with Apple TV deals and things like that, when you're talking about like Messi being here helps in so many other avenues for the league, you know. But yeah, so I think they're doing things on the up and up. So what if we're doing everything on the up and up? That means we're stretching the rules as far as we possibly can, finding every loophole, everything, and all that kind of stuff. Everybody should be doing that. And we
Yeah.
talked about it
Yeah.
last week as far as spending money. We went through graphs and things like that about what teams are spending money, what teams aren't. Majority of the league is spending within a few $1 million of each other. The majority of the league is somewhere. I'd have to pull it up again, but it's not a big distance between a lot of the teams in the league as far as their spending. But there's only like 3 or 4 clubs that are willing to really push the limits.
Yeah. I agree.
Um,
They're all shy. They want
Eric
to spend the money. They don't.
Eric says, he's correcting me. He says, no, Peter, look what LAFC did with Gareth Bale. They structured a contract similarly. He came in as a TAM player the first year and DP the rest of his contract. Well, yeah, that's the same thing that they did with Zlatan. I'm telling you.
He already said it, man. He said it.
Bruno's checking in. We haven't seen Bruno in a while. Bruni Sense. He's changed his name again. DePaul would be an amazing passing of the baton from Boosie. So that's the other thing is there's, a lot of the pundits think that the only way this can really happen is if Busquets retires. And that would, and if we're all assuming that DePaul's coming in this summer. There was also reports that he was in Spain packing his bag, is packing his apartment, his house, or whatever he lives, and which doesn't mean anything. Like, it just means he's leaving Spain. That's all it means. But still, we want to read into everything. But so, does that mean then that Busquets needs to retire right away, like now, so that you free up that space?
It might
That's
be
the other
because
way that people are talking.
His contract is up this next year, right? Well, this year. So
yeah,
December
this year,
this
the
year.
end of this year. Most contracts, all contracts go to December, the end of December. That's the way they always go, unless it's like, a loan like with Martinez, which ended in July. So loan might be different, but contracts, generally speaking, I think all of our contracts end in December of some year, right?
Why don't we go to that? Do that little thing that you do. And let's look at numbers here.
You want to
There we
jump to
go.
numbers? Wait, hang on, real
There
quick.
we go.
Was there any chats about the topic at hand before we go too far? No, it doesn't look like there's much. I mean, you guys could talk amongst yourself.
Good transition. Good.
Yeah, for sure. Good job, Ed. So we've got another spreadsheet. Now, this was inspired. I want to give credit where credit's due. This was inspired from a Reddit post that Ed saw, and it was from this guy, Long Jumping Toe 3120. And he was posting something about contract renewal. And so I already had a spreadsheet going, and then I took some of his information and added it to my spreadsheet. But that inspired this conversation of whose contracts are expiring and when. And it might surprise you. Look at how many contracts are expiring this year. That is 18 contracts, if I counted correctly. 18 contracts that expire at the end of this year or sooner, because Martinez is through July, right? So how crazy you could, if you wanted to, if you really wanted to say, we're going to rebuild this team, they did a good job, the ownership of having several short-term contracts and also just contracts expiring. So it's like if you said I want to just rebuild this team from scratch, I mean, geez, you could do some damage. I mean, and they're not all high-paid players here, but you could do some damage. But so
And we were talking about David Martinez earlier, and now that I'm looking, he makes a pretty penny.
yeah, Martinez is yeah, high-paid player. Is he worth that much? Probably not. But right now, you're already paying him. Just pay him that for the rest of the year.
Yeah,
You know,
we do need a
this
defender.
and the salaries, just so you guys know, these salaries are accurate. These are to the penny from the MLS Players Association. So these are the salaries as of the last reporting, which was I think in May. So they're very up to date salaries. What I used that guy's spreadsheet for was to help me with the contract expiration dates, because sometimes that's hard to find, and somehow he found it. So credit to that guy. I was just curious if I have
Yeah,
any
look at that.
chats.
Even
But
Fafa is he has an option for next year. I'd keep Fafa.
yeah, so Fafa
David
also
Martinez.
is a little pricey, but I
Yeah,
think, in my opinion, and granted, I might be a little biased with my strikers kind of bias that he was a former Fort Lauderdale striker. I paid $200 for a Fafa jersey. So I mean, I am definitely biased. But he's a proven player in this league, and he's still probably the fastest person on this team at, like, I forget exactly how old he is. You guys could look it up, but he's in his mid 30s, right? So I think close to, somewhere in the mid 30s, I think. So he's still one of the fastest players on this team. Makes a difference every time he comes on the field, even if he's just a super sub. I think he's worth that price. But
yeah.
some of the shocking things to me also were what we were talking about before, as Abondo making $500,000, $527,000, and he doesn't play. Now his contract is it's a loan, and we're still paying that much on a loan. I mean, even though we all want to see him play, if you're not going to play him, let him go, because there is no point to spend that kind of money for someone that's just never going to play. Like I'm saying, it's okay to pay that kind of money to Fafa because he is still coming on the pitch. He is still playing. Abando doesn't play. So why pay him that kind of money? Send him home at the end of this loan, at the end of the year. Let's just be done with it. Because he's not in Mascherano's plans, right, Ed?
Right, right. He's not coming on for anything. And granted, he's hurt. He was hurt. I don't know if he's still hurt, but I didn't see him practice, so I
I didn't
think
either.
or warm
I
up.
didn't either. So I assume he might still be hurt. Uh, here,
Yeah.
Brad commenting on this is saying, "What the f? Obando is getting more than $500,000 and isn't playing. Plus, is healthy. This is worse than Neymar at Al Hilal robbery." So exactly, that's what we're talking about. Bruno misses Campana, but he's glad he's playing for New England. Now, Campana's been hurt a good chunk of the year, so
Yeah. So that could have happened to us. Of course, we don't know, but he was a better offensive option though for us.
oh yeah, Mr. Kraft says, who wouldn't want to get paid to do absolutely nothing? So that's funny you say that, because me and Ed had basically this kind of conversation yesterday about specifically Ryan Saylor, whose contract also expires. Ryan Saylor makes 104,000. He was a draft pick that they had at one point renewed his contract, and so he's still here. I've heard he likes it down here. I mean, I know he goes to my church. I walked past him. At least he went once. That's all I can say. He went once. I saw him once. But I've heard that he really likes it down here. And so me and Ed were talking like, would you, thinking about like just a regular working person, because I'm looking at like Ryan Saylor, I'm like thinking, don't you have aspirations to play more? Wouldn't you rather go to like a USL championship club and so we get regular playing time? But if you like the city you're in and get paid $104,000, just like oh yeah, Mr. Krabs was saying, is that get paid that kind of money to do nothing. I mean, would you rather have your day job, whatever your day job is, would you rather have your day job at 104,000 or be a soccer player for 104,000? Get to play the game you love or sit in an office potentially or drive a truck or whatever for the same amount of money. I think most of us would say, I'll take the player. I'll be Ryan Saylor.
But plus, he plays with the best player in the world.
Well, he watches
So
him play.
right, or practices with him.
He practices with it. But hey, he's gotten on the field 2 games in a row now. 2 games in a row. He's getting garbage minutes. But he's gotten on the field twice. Exactly. Bruno is saying he played yesterday. I mean, for like 5 minutes, but he played yesterday. And then the game before, I think he played for like, I don't know, 30 seconds. I don't know what it was, but he played. So
he's getting seconds.
hey, finally he's getting some time. But anyways, I mean, so going through this, guys, in the chat, just curious. So of these players, let's go through the list real quick. Abando, Rodriguez, Martinez, Ruiz, Calendar, Fafa, Frey, Afonso, Messi, Suarez, Cello, Allen, Novo, Sailor, Busquets, Allende, Yarbrough, Bright. Who of those players would you bring back? Who would you renew? So that was what that people were talking about on that Reddit chat. Who would you renew from this? I mean, who would you let go? Because you're not going to let everybody go. So I know where my mind goes instantly is, I guess maybe the Moneyball type of thing is who's cheap? Who's cheap that, okay, they may not be playing a lot. Like, for example, Leo Afonso. When he does play, I think there's promise there. I don't know if he'll ever be a star player, but could you bring him in when somebody gets hurt? He could play the wing or whatever, and he's only making $80,000. And a guarantee, if you renew his contract, he's probably going to end up, his renewal will probably end up looking something similar to what Ryan Saylor looks like, because Ryan Saylor had that rookie contract and then got renewed at 104,000. So I would imagine Afonso might get something similar if they were to renew him. So would Afonso be worth 104,000? Is like, and in case of emergency, he's there. I'd say, yeah, maybe. So that's one player for me. I would be on the top of my list to renew because of the age, and age and price.
Agree. I totally agree on that one.
by the way. Caesar's back at it again with another super chat saying that Busquets is milking his salary. He's dropped quality. Busquets making close to $9 million. Obviously, if he came back, if he renewed, you would not renew him as a designated player. Would Busquets renew at a TAM deal? Which TAM deals, if I remember correctly off the top of my head, have to be under 1.5 million, something like that. I don't remember exactly, but I think it's somewhere in that neighborhood, under 1. Which, oh yeah, that makes sense because Suarez is a TAM deal, and he's got a 1.5.
Right.
So would Busquets do that just so he could continue hanging out with his buddy?
I would think so, and plus the last game at least he made a hell of a pass that led to a goal from Messi. So he still has that ability, but he is definitely slower. His defensive qualities aren't as great, but his ability to hold on to the ball and look at the long passes is still there. So I'd keep him if anything is a TAM, maybe for another year.
I mean, I would, but I'm just curious if he would do it. I mean, I would keep him as a TAM player for sure. I think so. I think he's still got something there. He doesn't have the speed and everything, but he's still. He made a move yesterday that I was leaning over to Julio and just saying, like, he's old, but he just kind of turned and blocked the ball and everything and just fooled the other guy. And the other players in the team can't do that. It was such a simple little move. Our other players can't do that unless you're like Messi or Suarez or one of those players. Brad commenting, who's Bright's agent? That dude needs to demand more money. Well, keep in mind, what Bright has is your standard rookie contract. I think rookie contracts are at like $80,000. So he was brought in as a draft pick. So you get draft pick money. So if now he has proven himself, so if he renews, he would potentially get somewhere in that 104,000. But I think he's proven himself to get more. But to give him like, I don't know, let's go like 150. I don't know. It's not my money. It's monopoly money.
Of course. And why say I see he's saying Busquets could be a coach. I think that would be awesome if like Busquets could stay as a coach and Jordi Alba could stay as a coach. I mean, especially like for the youth.
Yeah.
Being coached by one of these, top stars would be, impressive. And if you keep these guys around, it also will attract, all these, other famous players that'll, they'll want to come to Inter Miami because we've got all these players that have become coaches. I don't know if they want to be coaches, or maybe they could be involved with it some way, But
I mean, when you're that high level, I don't know. Part of me says when you're that high level of a player, you don't usually become a coach. I mean, I'm sure there's examples where I'm wrong, but because he's got so much money and it's like, why? Why add that stress? But you never know. You never know. It would be awesome to have him as a coach. Bruno's saying Bruno is saying he would renew Drake. He's still a keeper with a lot of potential. Now, what?
Yeah, I'm surprised.
Is this our Bruno?
What? Pinch me. Is this
Bruno, the Drake calendar hater that I have come to know? I mean, that's shocking. Shocked to hear him say that. But I agree.
Could it be that he's become a Drake calendar lover?
I don't know. Is that possible? Can you change like that? I mean, I guess we can all change. I don't
know.
Yeah. I would. One's call saying Bruno does like Drake now. Now he likes him. Look, I was saying before we went on air that I would keep Drake. There's a question mark there because lately this season he hasn't been able to save. He hasn't been able to stay healthy, but I think that's a reasonable price for a starting goalkeeper in this league. I'd have to look it up. Um, but you'd re-sign him, and like what Bruno is saying, re-sign him, let him play a little bit, and if you want, sell him. Maybe you can get some money for him. Uh, but and Ustari, there was a question in there about Ustari. Ustari has re-signed for one more year, so his expiration date is now 2026. So at the end of the year, so he's signed up for next year. There's a Tata lover in here. I don't know if this is sarcasm or not these days. Thank you, Tata Martino, for making the team strong.
It might be.
You could say thank
It
you for
might be
not signing long-term contracts, at least, because there are so many players here that if you so chose, if you wanted to, you could totally just wipe it clean and start over again. But anyways, that just real quick, so we're not harping on this too long, although we have. But I think people are liking this. Several players like Frey, I think you re-sign him, because even at re-signing him, he's got so much potential if he can stay healthy, right? He's not super expensive.
Yes.
This is, if somebody's under 200,000, it's still cheap. Now we are talking MLS. There's a lot of restrictions money wise with MLS, but I'd resign Frey. I'd resign Afonso, because I could probably get him at 104,000 or somewhere in that neighborhood. You have to 100% must resign Noah Allen. You want to talk about a bargain deal? He is on a bargain deal, 126,000. That is an amazing deal. I would let Sailor go. Allende is on a loan. I don't know if he's proven himself enough to warrant $1 million. So I would have to revisit this at the end of the year. How do you feel, Ed?
He has scored. I think he's the second leading scorer now. So he has made some he's somewhat has made a case for himself, but like you said, we need to really look into that.
Yeah. Comments in here.
Bright definitely needs to stay.
Johnny the Fifth Shank says, aren't some of these Miami players overpaid? I mean, some of them, but I think, when you're bringing players in sometimes from like some of these big South American clubs or whatever, they think there's big potential. So there's always like a risk when you bring in somebody like Allende. There's a risk. I mean, there's other players in here. Like, look, it's not here, but we paid a lot of money, because I don't have the transfer fees in here. We paid a lot of money for Allende, for example, and that was a risk. And maybe it didn't pay off, but it was a risk, and so he may not have an incredibly high salary, but where is his salary? Where's because we got to let him go. But I was saying that earlier. People were saying Aviles needed to go, and I said we'll talk about it later. I don't think he's going anywhere, because his salary is under 500,000, and he signed for another year. I don't think unless you could sell him. If you could sell him, fine. But unless you could sell him, I think you just let him ride out his contract. He's a liability at times, but he still does some really good plays at times and saves the day at times. So even if you put him in as a bench player for when somebody gets hurt, I think he's a solid player for that. At least play out your salary, because you can't just buy out everybody's contracts unless you find a buyer. Unless you sell him, you're stuck. You're stuck with Aviles for next year unless you can sell him.
Or loan him out somewhere.
True. But he, as a loan, they're still on your books a little bit. Because remember, what was it, that guy, Rodriguez or something? What was his name? And there's that one player that we had. Help me in the chat. There was that one player we had. Oh, you know what? I forgot we had a voicemail. I'm sorry. There was one player in the chat that we had. I thought his name was Rodriguez something or other. Emerson Rodriguez. We kept loaning him out everywhere, and he was still on our books. Maybe not all of his salary, but he was still on our books. So hey, because I forgot about it, let's go take care of our voicemail, since I completely missed the boat on that.
It's time for your voicemail.
Hello.
Hello, everyone. This is Kevin Gonzalez. Hope that everyone's been doing well, and thank you, Peter and Uncle Ed, for the great show that you always put on. I'm watching you guys right now. This was an absolute weekend of perfection, which was concluded today. I know that this is a show about Inter Miami, but I have to give a shout out to the team that I've been a fan of long before Inter Miami came around, and that's Chelsea Football Club. Congratulations to them on winning the FIFA Club World Cup Championship today. It was a privilege, and I'm so happy. That coupled with the win last night with Inter Miami, which I'll get to in just a moment, this was an absolute weekend of perfection. I was at the game last night, and I had the privilege of being there with my nephew, RJ, who was there for his very first ever Major League Soccer match. And he really wasn't into soccer, but he had an absolute blast last night, not to mention the fact that Leo Messi gave us an absolute performance of perfection. Third consecutive game with a brace. I'm hoping that we can keep him next year. But it was an absolute wonderful atmosphere last night. Some of you actually came up to me and said hello, so thank you guys for acknowledging me. Also wanted to mention I'm going to be retiring from federal service at the end of this year, and I've already agreed to season tickets next year at the new stadium, so this is the beginning of some new memories going forward with the club. So it's great to be back, or great to be coming back. But once again, an absolute fantastic night last night at the stadium, and an absolute fantastic win. Shout out to everyone at Inter Miami, and let's keep it going. We've got a tough schedule on the way, but a lot of confidence in this team that we can win the Supporter Shield again this year. And let's just keep it going. Let's get behind the club, and we're all about La Familia. So thanks for everything, guys, and take care. We'll see y'all soon.
That's some really good enthusiasm there by Kevin. I love that. Very enthusiastic. Good to hear that the team made a good impression on his nephew. That was fun. Ed, you were watching the Chelsea PSG match. I watched the second half because I forgot it was on. That was a bit of a surprise. I think Chelsea surprised everybody. I think everybody felt like PSG was going to win that.
Yeah, PSG was the favorite, just because they had won so many games by high scores. I
Made it
had
look
mentioned to
easy.
you on Twitter, on WhatsApp, that they both teams were actually beat by Brazilian teams in the
Hmm.
group stage, which I thought was pretty interesting. But they both qualified for the second for the quarterfinals or whatever. They went on to the finals, and but yeah, like I said, Chelsea was a kind of like the surprise, one of the favorites. I think everybody expected them to probably get to the final, either them or Real Madrid. But it was pretty impressive, man. I think it was a good tournament. I think they're going to keep doing it. They
Oh, that was
made
great.
money. The team
Yeah,
made money. And all that matters is the money.
yeah,
That's lo que importa es el cash.
yeah.
So I think
Although
that's
I did hear in the post game interviews the Chelsea coach. They basically asked him, like, how his thoughts and all that kind of stuff, and he did say something to the effect he would have preferred his team to have a month off instead. I was like, "Damn, you just won the tournament," and he's like, because there was several European coaches complaining about this tournament, the fact that the players were overplayed, and
the
now they could be overpaid
the
though.
owners weren't complaining about the money that was made.
No, the
So
owners didn't, but the
yeah,
coaches did. Coaches complained.
yeah. But I
Um,
think they'll get over it, and I think this is something that'll probably stick around. Yeah, hopefully they'll do it every 4 years.
well, that is the
And
plan.
yeah.
That is the plan, is to do it every 4 years. That was what I was reading, but um, and they could tweak things. They can move it around a little bit, a month or so. I don't know. They could just, whatever they need to do. They can make adjustments. Johnny is commenting on the fact that Donald Trump was at the Club World Cup game today, which it's not that unheard of to have a sitting president to go to like a final, like a FIFA, like a World Cup final. I think you've seen people like maybe like a Bill Clinton or something like that back in the day, maybe in the '94 or World Cup. I don't know if it was Clinton at that time, but it might have been. But you don't generally see the sitting president, out on the field handing out the medals and the trophy, which I thought that was unusual. Because if I'm not wrong, I think it's usually like the FIFA president, and then maybe the president of the region that the tournament is being played in. Like, so it would be like maybe the CONCACAF president, but instead it was Trump, which he looked like he was having fun with. And we're not going to get into politics, whether you like him or whether you don't like him. I don't care. But he looked like he was having fun there.
Yeah, that would be a fun thing to do. And I do remember in South Africa, I think it was Mandela that was giving this stuff. So yeah, it's not unheard of that presidents do that. You know, World Cups, they hand out medals.
But this is what the funny part, and I chatted this to you, and Mike V is talking about it as well. And Mike V says, "What is unheard of is handing over the trophy and then just standing there while the team celebrates." It was hilarious. He hands the and the player. It looked like he said something to Trump, like, "Hey, what are you still doing here?" Like, and you could see at one camera shot, you could see Infantino trying to trying to get Trump's attention, like, "Hey, come here." And Trump is just like, woo, having fun, like sitting there clapping or whatever.
That's gonna
Meanwhile, the
be
players are trying to have their moment, and he's just there like,
that's gonna be all over the place. That's gonna be hilarious.
that was hilarious. He's like, I'm not
Yeah.
going anywhere. I'm the president. I'm here. He just looked a little bit lost, but it was hilarious. And then I think it looked like Infantino came up eventually from behind through the players and kind of like pulled him back slowly through the players. And then eventually he kind of got off the stage or something. But it was weird. It was really weird. Even I think for the players, because he's kind of like the captain's looking at him like, what are you doing here?
Right. You should have given us the trophy and gone. But that was Infantino's.
Get out. It's their moment. It's not your moment. But it was hilarious.
That's too funny, man.
Like Mike V says, just another one of the 1,000 memes. Mr. Krabs says, Trump thought he won the Club World Cup. He's like, he won it. It's mine.
I did think.
Maybe he was like, I know the Club World Cup trophy had a presentation at the White House at one point. It was in the White House. Maybe he thought it was in my house. It's mine. Right. I'm gonna take it home with me once you're done.
Yeah, so I'm gonna get it back. He probably thought he was gonna take it back to the White House.
This is the price of us hosting. You give me the trophy. I don't know. Eric Thomas asking, he wonders if President Trump will invite Chelsea over to the White House like he did Juventus. Laughing out loud. I don't know. I'll stop with the Trump talk because I don't want it to get down anything political. But it just, the silliness of it was funny. So, one thing, going back to our conversation before, as we wrap things up, was Eric Thomas also mentioning, and he's right, that Peter, all you have to do is realize Israel Boatwright is making more money than Yannick Bright. Make that make sense. Well, I think, if I'm not wrong, I'd have to look at the history, but I think Israel did get one of those renewals at one point. And when you get a renewal, you end up going from like that 80,000, rookie contract to that second contract, which is in the general neighborhood of 104 or 106, and his was 106. Now, I don't think this guy's ever seen the field. I don't think I would have to look up his stats. I don't know if he's ever played a game. Now, I know he's played quite a few of the MLS 2 games, Inter Miami 2 games, but I don't know if he's ever. And I know he had really messed up his leg at one time. I remember seeing him hobbling around with a big cast type thing on his leg, but I don't know. But I get his point.
One. Yeah. I was saying Tyler Hall is another one that hasn't played at all. He's a defender as well. We need defenders.
Yeah. I want to say Tyler might have played a few minutes once, but I'm not, I could be wrong, but I part of my memory I think he might have, but it is crazy. There is definitely some players that they need to shed, even if they're low paid players, because you could shed somebody like an Israel Boatwright or a Tyler Hall for a new draft pick or a new up and coming player from your academy. you've brought up Noah Allen, you brought up Kromoski, you brought up Ruiz from your academy. Who's the next, right? So they could save money and bring up a cheap player that way. And if I'm not wrong, I think that's Tyler Hall was one of those players as well. He just hasn't panned out, I guess.
Yeah.
So
we'll see.
Lots of fun stuff there to talk about, and we could dig into this more at another time. I've got spreadsheets up the yin yang now, and so anytime we need to talk about that kind of stuff, we can. I've got it available, so that's all good stuff.
All right, Peter Brown.
All right, Ed. So what's going on with?
We definitely have.
With everything,
we definitely have a game day vlog, Peter Brown, that should be out tomorrow in the morning, so you guys can check that out. All the goals, Chelsea. What am I talking about? Messi goals. Both Messi goals are on there. All the fun shenanigans of the game as we saw it. So be sure to check that out. Even my mother-in-law came out in it.
Mm-hmm.
So you guys can check that out, and which was pretty funny. And what else? And then we got the Spanish show that we should be trying to get. If we don't have it out by tomorrow, it will be out by Tuesday.
Yeah, so that should be fun. The game day vlog should be good. So hopefully everybody enjoys that. See the reaction from everybody, and yeah, see how old your, well, maybe we shouldn't ask, but a grandmother.
Yeah, my mother-in-law is actually, she's almost 80 years old. So she's
nice seeing her reaction. It was fun. She was cute. She was really cute. It was good.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So you guys can check that video out. And looking forward to Inter Miami getting some more points, catching up to the rest of the guys. We could still be in first place if we win every single game. We could even afford a tie, and we could still come out first.
Any more construction updates? So we need to get out there again soon. I think it's been like 3 weeks now since I went and did it. So one of us needs to get down there in the next week or two. So yeah, there'll be more for sure. Oops. I just hit the same thing twice. So yeah, so I see, oh yeah, Mr. Krebs writing it again, basically in a different way. So yeah, we'll definitely get some more. But yeah, we didn't even get into, I had put in the ticker, but we didn't even get into like the next 2 games, which is Cincinnati, Red Bull, New York, and then again Cincinnati. So it is going to be a tough stretch there. It's playing Cincinnati twice, Cincinnati on the road. So we'll see how they do, and see if anybody else besides Messi can step up and have a good game.
Exactly.
All right, everybody. Thanks so much for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe, and we will see you next time. See you, everybody.